Hello everyone and welcome to the full Jax guide. In this video we'll be going over Jax's identity, runes, sums, matchup, build, combos, first 4 waves, early game, mid game, late game, and common mistakes on Jax. Before that though, a little bit of background on me. My name is Luca, I've been Challenger multiple seasons. As you can see, I'm Challenger right now as well. I come from EU West. I've been playing professionally for a couple of years. I retired to become a coach. I work at the WTL TLA. It's a site where we give coaching for a monthly subscription. And my most played this season is actually Jax with 178 games. So if that sounds good to y'all, let's get into it. Starting off with Jax's identity, there's a couple things you have to understand about Jax in order to play him well. First of all, he likes to scale until his first item. That is his biggest power spike. You need Triforce to be able to play the game usually. And then he's strongest at around 3 items, and then he falls off around the 4 to 6 item mark. So you are a mid-game champion, and depending on what the enemy team comp is, you can also be strong late game. But if they have like a very annoying like Xerath, Ziggs, Nidalee type comp, then it's gonna be much harder. Um, the nice thing about Jax is you have mixed damage. You deal a lot of AP damage with your ult, your E, and your W. So if the enemies are stacking armor, you can usually find a way around that, and that's really nice. What makes Jax really strong is his flexibility. You are both a team fighter and you also have a split push win condition. Let's say, for example, that your entire team is losing, but you win the 1v1, right? If you can progress on side lane, meaning that you can like hit the enemy turret in front of their face or dive the opponent and then take his tower, um, the word progression, right, means that you're able to take their base in a 1v1 scenario. If that's the case, the enemy needs to send more than one number to defend you, and at that point, your team has a numbers advantage somewhere on the map, right? So you have the win condition of both splitting and fighting, and it really depends on the game state. Now, Jax is a very very solid blind pick. He has a lot of bad matchups, but his worst matchups are not as bad as other champions' worst matchups, and his worst matchups are also very uncommon, and we will talk about that later as well. Alright, now let's talk about rune pages. Pretty straightforward stuff. Jax has Lethal Tempo or Grasp. And secondary runes can be changed between usually Resolve and Inspiration. But these are your rune pages, right? You have Lethal Tempo, Presence of Mind, Legend Alacrity, and Last Stand. And then in certain matchups you go Bone Plating, in certain matchups you go Second Wind, and then sometimes you can also go Overgrowth or whatever instead of Demolish, right? Always just go attack speed, and it's pretty standard to go either flat health or you go scaling HP. That also depends on the matchup. Like maybe a volatile early matchup like Olaf, you can go flat HP, and then in other matchups you go scaling HP, right? So secondary, as I said, you can go cookies or cosmic, or you can go the resolve tree. And then for the grasp rune setup, this is usually just your standard. And again, you can change out the second wind for bone plating or whatever you want, but this is pretty standard stuff. And then for which matchups you take which runes. Now, this is defined by the way you trade in lane, which we will get to after the matchup tier list as well. This is just a list of which matchups that I personally believe is the best rune setup in. You can see that you have lethal plus resolve against a champion like, for example, Kled, right? Or Set is a good example where you just go bone plating secondary, but you still need lethal tempo for the extended trades. And then you have a champion like Malphite where, okay, you want grasp because your trading pattern looks like this. You're gonna walk up, press W, slam the guy in the face, and walk away, right? And then against Aurelia, for example, you really want lethal tempo to get those extended trades, but it's fine to go inspiration because you don't really need to resolve against Aurelia. She can easily proc your bone plating with W, right? It's good to have cookies in that matchup. So yeah, this is just the way I see it. Now for summoner spells, very standard. You just go flash TP in almost every matchup. There are a couple of exceptions. In my opinion, you can go Flash Ignite against Darius and Olaf. Those two champions, I think Flash Ignite is good against. You could make a case for like Aurelia as well because she has a lot of healing in her kit, right? And you don't have to buy Bramble or Executioners then. You can just go Ignite. Going Cosmic is really good on Jax because your TP cooldown goes down and your flash cooldown goes down as well, right? Two really important summoner spells on this champion. So that's why you go Cosmic in a lot of games. Now, going into the matchup tier list, at the top we have the counter matchups. These are the worst matchups for Jax. You have Heimer, Zac, Cannon, Jace, Karma, and Cassiopeia. Now, the reason all these matchups are so bad is one, because they have a lot of range, two, because they're usually AP champions, and three, because it's really hard to find trades on them because of the way their kits work. For example, how do you ever trade onto a Cannon, right? You have to jump on him, and then he just E's out, and then W Qs you and stuns you, and then your Q's down. It's really hard to get into range. Same with Jace, you can Q onto him, but he's gonna E you away and trade afterwards. And then some of the champions just stat check you, like Cassiopeia, she just stat checks you, right? We go to the enemy favorite section. These are all matchups that you kind of want to go cut losses in, like you're trying to not fall too far behind, but it's definitely playable. There's a lot of angles where you can still look for stuff sometimes, but they're just not very good matchups, and it's hard to interact with the enemy top laner. Then the skill matchups, stuff like Aatrox, Fiora, Gnar, Set, right? This is just how well can you play in this matchup, how much are you respecting the enemy jungler, how much are you punishing enemy cooldowns, playing with your level up timers. Like, your fundamentals will really shine in these matchups, and the better player will just win. Then you have the Jax favorite matchups. These are like matchups where I would pick Jax into these champions whenever I see them blind picked. For example, Olaf, Yone, Irelia, right? These matchups are just like, oh, I'm just gonna slam Jax if they pick that, because I know that I can just beat these champions, because not only do you win early, first couple waves, right, you also win once you have your item spike, and then you also win side lane later on, and then you can also dominate team fights, right? And then you have the freeze hell section where, I mean, these champions are just like, you see these champs and you're just like, bro, I'm just gonna go 20-0, you know. Kayle is a really good one. If you play against Kayle, what can she do if you jump in? She can't do anything. You just QE her and she's dead, right? As long as you have good wave manipulation skills, she can't do anything, even if she's level 6, right? It's really hard for her. And then stuff like Trundle, Wukong, Yasuo, I mean, come on, like, these champions, you just press E and you just win the game, you know what I mean? So that's the matchup tier list. Okay, now if you remember, I said earlier about the rune setup list. I said that we will talk about it, so we're doing that now. You will see that every matchup here is kind of defined by every rune you take is defined by the matchup. Now, there are some matches where it just doesn't really matter, like Cassiopeia, Karma, and Heimerdinger. I would highly recommend you just go Phase Rush and do like the AP build where you go Emax in these matchups, because they're pretty unplayable otherwise. And you just look for proxies, right? And then against Jace and Kennen and Vladimir and stuff like that, your goal in these matchups is to just jump in, bait their crucial abilities such as Teemo Blind, Jace's knockback, Cannon's E, and then you have your jump before they have their CC abilities, right? You have to jump a lot earlier because your jump is a very low cooldown. And then you can punish them with QE next time, so that's why you hold E. Then you have the jump in and hard trade with E. In these matchups, you just want to jump in, press E while you're mid-air, just fist them, and then walk away, right? And then just keep doing that until you kill them. You have to bear in mind, though, in some champions, like let's say Yone, if he has his third Q or he has his E up, you have to be a little bit more careful with that, because he can just E away and just kite you, right? But generally speaking, this is kind of how you want to play. Take it with a grain of salt, though, because of course, like, if the enemy jungler is there, or if they've like if GP has a barrel on top of himself, it's not as easy as said as done. But yeah, and then you have the start trades by walking up. Now this is this is like 80% of Jax's trades in almost all matchups. You just walk up, you press W, and then you just walk away. And then, because you have like often you have Grasp and Sheen, this is the most effective way to at least butter someone up, right? Put them towards like 70% health before you jump in. And that way you can like slowly chip them out. The problem with Jax is often if you jump in, you're using your escape to go in, right? Your only way to escape, you're using that to go in, so you're committing yourself to the fight way too hard in a lot of cases. And Jax's E is actually not that hard to kite. Like, even if you just right click away, often Jax will not get, maybe you get 2 or 3 autos in, but after E and Q are down, you're pretty vulnerable. So yeah, this is the reason why it's good to just walk up, press W, and then walk away. And after level 6, you can also do 2 autos on the creeps, for example, and then W someone and get that empowered auto attack with your W combined, and it's just really, really strong. Alright, now we're going to talk about builds. When you have Grasp, just default to D-Shield. And if you have Lethal Tempo, I would say D-Blade in matchups where you're going to be trading with all-ins. For example, against against Olaf, your trades will be you're jumping in and you're 100 to zeroing this guy. For that, you need D-Blade, right? It's a better all-in setup. And then for in matches where you either are taking a lot of trades in different intervals, or well, I mean, honestly, just go D-Shield with Grasp every single game. Honestly, just don't overcomplicate it. So when you have Grasp and D-Shield, your goal is almost always to max W and just spam Ws on their face, which goes hand in hand with going Sheen, right? So early game, if you don't have 900 gold, just try to find a glowing mode refillable base and then try to get your Sheen ASAP and base TP or just base and walk back. Really important that you get that Sheen power spike. There are a lot of matchups where you don't even have to trade too much early because you want to make sure that you don't lose any creeps, and then you can base TP for your Sheen, get your 900 gold ASAP, and then play aggressively after that. And then for Lethal Tempo, you just want to go D-Blade. In matches where you go Lethal Tempo, you automatically are looking for those extended trades, and you want to go Longsword, usually 2 Longswords, and maybe a Ruby Crystal if you can, because this gives you just a lot more all-in power, right? And it makes a lot of sense to get more combat stats because you're not looking to spam Ws, you're looking to jump in and kill someone 100-0. And then the last tip I'll give you for early game builds is that you always want to buy a refillable on your first base. And then spend the excess gold you have on a component. Unless, of course, you have like let's say 950 gold, it's much better to just go Sheen with 1 health potion. But if you have let's say you have 600 gold, the best thing you can do is just buy refillable and then get a longsword or a ruby crystal. Usually a longsword though. Okay, and then for the core build, this is your core build right here. 90% of the games you go Triforce first, Thundersky second, Zonia's third. That is just, you should basically be defaulting to this. Okay, now the 4th item and onwards, and your boots, we can talk about this too. These are the most realistic options you have, with Ionian boots being the best boots because Jax loves having CDR and they're a cheap option. CDR is really good on Jax because your E, right? It lowers the cooldown, and the more you can spam E, the more invulnerable timers you have on your champion, right? So that's really nice. You go Mercs if the enemies have really heavy CC, and you go Tabis if the enemies have really, really, really heavy AD, right? If they're basically full AD, because on Jax you don't really need Tabis. Usually there are exceptions though, but you have your E already, right? So that's the thing. And then for these items on your screen right now, Hole Breaker is good when you have the split push win condition and they have a high wave clear champion, like let's say you can dive the Anivia or something on side lane, but she can still clear your wave before you can dive her. In that case, Hole Breaker is good because then you can just buff the Canamine and progress that way. Wit's End is good if the enemies are high AP damage and you also need tenacity, for example, right? And then you have like Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart's good if the enemies are like full AD. You can go Frozen Heart second even. You can go Triforce into Frozen Heart. Let's say they have like a Xin Zhao, Rengar, Yasuo topside. Okay, that's a really good option. Then you can go Titanic Hydra. I think Titanic Hydra is good on 4th item. If all of the other items are not that good, you can just go Titanic. And then Spirit Visage, if you have like a Karma and an Ivern in your team, you get a lot of value from the shields. Spirit Visage can be good. Bork can be good against HP stackers. Let's say they have a Scion Mundo in their team. Bork is a very good option. I would say Bork, you can even go that 2nd item after Triforce. And then Shojin, you can go Shojin in games where you are not able to attack the enemies too much with Thunder Sky, so it's a replacement for Thunder Sky. For example, if they have a Shen in their team and the rest of the enemies are like basically all super tanky or something, then Shojin is pretty good because it gives you more rotations on your abilities and it gives you a lot of tankiness too. Then Renekton's Omen, just think about like, okay, if the enemies have like 2 crit champions, right? Maybe they have Jin and Jinx, or sorry, well that's pretty unrealistic. Kindred and Jin or something. Renekton's can be good instead of Frozen Heart, right? And then you have Koenig Rukern. Koenig Rukern is very, very good item, especially against poke champions, right? Let's say you want to do a team fight. Jax's engage is pretty bad, so often you will have like this staring contest, and then against champions like Xerath and Ziggs, you can absorb a lot of their poke. And then lastly, Jaxo. I think Jaxo is a pretty good 4th item, generally speaking. If you don't really know what to build, you can just default to Jaxo 4th. It has a lot of value. Okay, so for the kit and combos, let's start off with the basics. So Jax is passive. When you attack, you get a stack that fades, right? And every time you attack, it resets. The stacks go up to 8, and for every stack you do, you get a little bit more attack speed, right? So you can see my attack speed right now 1.57. If I wait, it fades, right? And then it goes down, and it's now at 1.08. So that's quite a lot of attack speed. Your Q, very simply, is just a leap strike, right? You can just jump, and you can also jump to wards and stuff like that, which is really nice. Your W is your main bread and butter. This is just a magic damage / also AD damage, of course, because it counts as an auto attack. You can combine your W and Q together. If you press W and then Q someone, the W applies to them, and you also auto attack very quickly afterwards. Your E is your ability that deals damage after you charge it up a little bit, right? And during the charge up, you cannot be attacked by auto attacks such as normal auto attacks, but also like S0 Qs count as auto attacks, stuff like that, right? Really important to know as well that you can recast it at any point you want to. You can recast it early, right? You can combine it with Flash, for example, like this. Let's add some mana. And then what's really important too is that you need to realize that the damage your E does is increased by the amount of damage you take during the E. It's not just auto attack damage either, it is also AoE damage, okay? It's percentage max health magic damage, and it also stuns enemies, so that's a plus as well. Now your ult, the passive, you gain a passive when you level your R, which is that every 3rd attack within 2.5 seconds deals additional magic damage. And the active is that you just do this, you slam down, and for every enemy you hit, you get armor and MR. And that counts for every additional enemy hit as well. And also, instead of every 3rd auto attack, every 2nd auto attack is now an empowered, right? So this means that you want to ult very early into the fights. So whenever you fight someone, press R as soon as you can, because the moment you press Q, you're already committed, and you can just press R and go crazy on them, you know. Okay, so let's talk about some standard combos right now. Normal combo, something you just have to get good at when you play Jax, is just doing this. Auto walk, auto walk, auto walk. You never really want to stand still like this. You always want to just get as many movement inputs between each auto. Now the second trading pattern, or combo rather, you can do is like you want to make sure that you're good at this, which is auto resetting. It's, well, I'm not good at it apparently, but doing stuff like that, right, where you just auto W and then you walk, auto W, and the moment you press W, your auto attack resets. If I just auto attack like normal, this is the time it takes between my autos, right? But if I auto W, I can spam it really fast. So that's important. Now you have your E as well, right? Often you want to kind of do a burst combo where you walk up, you auto, and then right before your E stun goes off, that's where you want like auto W. Another combo you can do, like for example laning phase, is, let's say these are like the creeps, right? You can prep 2 autos on like a creep, and then you can walk up and auto the enemy in the face, and it deals a lot of damage, right? That is a crazy amount of damage, especially if you have Sheen and Grasp, right? You can do auto. You can even do Q auto like this, and that's a lot of damage. 2 autos with your W and Grasp. You can also do, if these are the creeps, right? You can do 1 auto and then do like jump, auto, W, and that's also a good combo. As I said earlier, you want to make sure that you ult early into fights. You can really get a lot of magic resistant armor in those fights, and yeah, this is like, honestly, Jax is pretty, there are not that many combos or anything, it's pretty straightforward. You have to just really good at fundamentally using your auto attacks and spacing really well in between. So that's really it. One last thing that we can talk about is once you have Zhonya's, you can do stuff like this where you E, right? You E and then you Zhonya's during your E, stuff like that, or you do like this, right? So you don't die during your E, still get your stun off. Stuff like that's really nice to do on Jax. Alright, so the thing about Jax is in a lot of matchups you really want to trade reactively, because if you open up with your E and Q abilities, people can kite it really easily, and if you remember, your E deals more damage the more damage you take. So you want to kind of time your E with whenever people are using their abilities on you first, if that makes sense. So here I'm really like a lot of people would just walk up and E this guy, but I really just want to auto W him and walk away. And if he continues to trade, I'm gonna use my E reactively and then block his Q damage, and then try to get an extended trade after that, right? And you can see that I'm not jumping in like I'm crazy. I'm just Wing this guy and walking away, right? And that's kind of how you want to trade. You will just chill. You want to just like get your grasp, get your autos. There again, boom. I'm just Wing him, right? Like here again, I have my Q up, I have my E up, but I'm not doing that. I'm just walking up and pressing W. If this guy Qs me, I will use my E reactively, but I'm never using it proactively. So how do I play out this bounce? I really want to crash this wave right now. So I'm just gonna chill. He uses his abilities, and again I don't jump in, right? He has barrier up. I'm gonna play slow, gonna play safe. I'm really respecting. My jungler's coming, and I don't need to take any unnecessary risk right now. I can just play really slow, really controlled, play in my wave, bait him to get my jungler, right? Again, I'm Wing his face, and then here my E is back up. Now I can jump in because my jungler's here. I can try to bait this guy, which I end up doing, and then we get a slash, right? I'm not sure if we kill him. We don't. Well, that's unlucky, but at least I live. And same thing here. Why does this trade here go so well, right? Very simple. I walk up and I W him, and then I E reactively. I don't E proactively. If I open up with E here, he's gonna flip me behind him, right? And then there's too much distance between us. So if I react with his flip with my E, then it's okay, because now him standing still to flip me gave him less distance on me, and then because I buffered my E like that, I can now Q him afterwards as well and get a really good trade. In this example, you can see me prepping my auto on the creep and then doing the Q auto W method, right? So here, boom, I'm gonna auto this creep, this one right here, one auto, and then Q auto W. I get two empowered autos off in one trade. Also use my E there to make sure that I don't take too much mean damage, and then also I can stun him if he tries to trade back. And then here, the reason, by the way, I queued in is because, I mean, I can't walk up and W because he's just playing so safe. So sometimes you have to queue in, right? And then here, as I said earlier about like your ult, when you do a trade like this, it's completely okay. This guy's mobility spell is down. He just uses E. So I'm just gonna ult as early in the fight as I can, right? Okay, now let's talk about the first 4 waves. There are a couple really important details that you need to think about when it comes to establishing priority, right? Priority meaning that you are getting the first crash. In other words, you're getting the slow push, and then you have the first move onto the map, right? You really want to make sure that, first of all, if you know you're going to get priority in your matchup, you want to ward the enemy jungle level 1. Usually you ask your team to do that for you, and that makes it so that you know where the enemy jungler is pathing. If you know where the enemy jungler is pathing, you can play around it, right? If the enemy jungler is pathing towards top lane and your jungler is pathing towards bot, then you can do a 2-wave crash, and then when the wave bounces back to you, you can just play safe, catch the wave, and then you don't die to a gank, right? Vice versa, if your jungler is coming top lane, right, he's pathing bot to top, and the enemy jungler is pathing top to bot, then you can do a 2-wave crash and then try to get a freeze from the bounce, and then have the enemy jungler be bot while your jungler is top, and then you can kill the guy and freeze into V1, right? The other really important thing I want you to realize on Jax is that you really want to stack your grasp and your passive as soon as you can in lane. So you always want to start in lane, right? You want to start in. You want to make sure that you're in your lane before the minions arrive, because if the enemy is doing that before you, you're gonna already be one step behind. What I really want you to realize on Jax as well is that the trading pattern you will often do, level 1, is you're gonna auto the enemy champion, and then all the enemy minions are going to be grouped up and autoing you. And because these minions are autoing you, your E will deal a lot of damage, right? Because the more damage you absorb, the more damage you deal. And then you can either get an extended trade on the enemy champion, or you can, this is kind of what you usually want to do, you want to use the damage to auto E one time on the enemy champion, and then also hit his entire wave with your E at the same time. Kind of like this. What happened now is I'm winning the push simply by Eing his entire wave, because they're all getting low, right? That's kind of how you want to play. We'll look at the second E I do as well. Here, I'm trying to auto him. The moment I auto him, the creeps are onto me, and then boom, I E his wave. Now I got my level 2 first because of that, right? And then I can look for other trades. Another thing is, usually you want to, after trading, you want to like reset the mean aggro by walking into the bush. The moment you walk into the bush, the minions lose sight of you, and then they'll drop the aggro on you. They'll swap targets, and that will prevent a lot of mean damage. So this is kind of how you want to play your first 4 waves. You just want to like get the push. You want to get the first crash, and then depending on how the enemy plays, you can maybe keep playing aggressively. For example, right now I see the enemy jungler is bot side, so here I decide to keep playing aggressively. But again, I want to make sure that if I can, I stack my grasp here, stack my passive, and then my trading patterns are going to be pretty straightforward, right? I'm going to walk up and press W. Unless his abilities are down. In that case, I Q without Eing because I want to bait his W out. And then here he uses his E as well, so now I can walk up and W. And then now he uses his Q too, so every ability is down. I'm gonna hit level 4 first here, and I can just keep playing aggressively if I want to. But I can also decide to just let this wave push into me. It really depends on how the trades are going, where the junglers are pathing towards, etc. Let's talk a little bit about the early game. Now on Jax, your first couple waves and your early game is really crucial because your champion spikes on very clear timers, right? Level 6, level 9, Sheen, and Triforce, right? If you get your level 9, you have your W maxed. If you get your level 6, you have your ult up and you can actually start fighting people. And your Sheen is really, really important. And this leads me into saying that your mental priority list when you play Jax should be wave state is most important. Your minions, your last hits to get your Sheen is second most important, and then third is trading. So whatever you do, the most consistent way to play League is to get like 8 CS per minute and just be stable inside of the game. And that's why I think it's really important to just play slow, play controlled, play on your tempo, farm. Don't lose too many last hits for no reason. Get your Sheen, base TP, and then play aggressively then, right? And then even still, you can just last hit creeps and then walk up and W someone and walk away and go back to last hitting creeps. And the moment you get your Triforce, that's where you can actually start getting really, really aggressive trades because you just stat check a lot of champions, especially if you ult early into the fight. Also want to add that I think a common mistake a lot of people make is that once they hit your Triforce, they like TP back top lane and go crazy. Once you have Triforce, you don't want to TP back top unless you're about to lose your full tower or something. You really want to save your TP for your team because now that you have your item spike, you can start getting priority in your lane 1v1 and then TP to Drake fights. You can TP to bot plays, you can TP to mid plays, right? Your TP, especially since you have Cosmic 2, is going to be very, very, very important. And if you want to impact the map positively, you can ask your team to maybe place a ward behind the enemy bot lane and then look for TP play once they're committed or stuff like that. And it's sometimes even fine to, okay, I'm going to TP, get a double kill, and then the enemy top laner might even take my turret. But if that's worth it, if the enemy top bot lane has a shutdown and they're fed and that's their win condition, that's something you can do. Alright, let's talk about mid game now. On Jax, unless your team is super behind and you can progress on side lane, you want to involve yourself in as many fights as possible. And the way you do that is by using this strategy called the push and move. The way it works is you want to push a wave on side lane, and while the enemy top laner is catching the wave after you push it, now you can already start moving to mid, and then you create a temporary numbers advantage that way. So here it might seem subtle, but I just caught a top wave. I didn't push yet. This is the wave I want to push. Right now, I know that I want to push that wave, but I'm still looking to join the fight. I can always move back to top to just push the wave anyway. But here, very important that I open myself up to the option of fighting here. Like, I'm not even looking, like, the thing is, I'm not looking to commit to this fight, but the fight ends up looking really good while I'm moving, and because of that, I can always just join it regardless, right? If I were to run back top lane right now and look to push and move, I would be trolling, right? I need to just join this fight, and it's really good. So here, boom, I end up joining the fight, and I end up trolling a little bit. I think I just dived them. I mean, we don't have to do this. I went way too deep here, which is my bad. I thought I could just kill the TF here in one hit, but he ends up living. I die. Okay, fine. Right now, I ask myself, what is the next objective? It is Drake. Okay, I want to play that, right? Right now, if I TP top lane, the enemies see that, they're just going to start Drake on spawn, and I'm not going to be able to join the fight. Why do I TP bot here? Because I want to push and move. The enemies have not started Drake yet. Therefore, I have some time, okay? I can push one bot wave, or maybe two, and then still move to the fight, because there is no time crunch right now. My team, the only problem is that they might be inting, and they're not going to respect the fact that I'm still on bot. The best thing I can do is just ping my intentions as clear as possible, right? I'm pinging on my way on the bot wave, and then after I push these waves, now you can see that they're going to lose this bot tower. I can even keep hitting it if I want to, but I can also now move to the fight without losing anything bot. And the enemies are super pressured right now. And then you can just join the fight, you know. And here it's really hard for the enemies to walk into us because we have all the control now. We pushed out bots. Look how much they're losing on bot lane, and it's also pushing back into me at the same time, you know. So this is a really good example. Okay, so here, next objective, Atakan. My TP is down, but it's completely fine if I'm on the opposite side as long as the enemies are not actively looking to the Atakan. So right now I ask myself, can I do another top wave? The answer is yes. Why? Because the enemies just respawned and we saw them on the map, so we know they're not doing the Atakan right now. So again, the push and move strategy, right? I push one wave. A lot of people make the mistake of they keep pushing after one wave, but you have to realize that after you push a wave on side, you are now opening up yourself to the possibility of being on the mid wave while either the enemy loses the wave on top or they're catching it. This is the prime example I can give you. Because I pushed top first, Singed is still forced to catch the wave, and if he doesn't, he's gonna lose that wave. And because he's actually going to catch it, now I'm on this mid wave first. Why is it important to be on mid waves? Because 90% of team fights happen because of mid waves. The team that gets priority on mid, they are the ones who have the first move into the objective, right? There's no coincidence that this fight here happens on this timer. It is because I'm moving first, and because the enemies know that if they don't fight right now, they're in a very big, they are in a very bad spot. So boom, Singed ends up TPing. Does it matter that he TPs? Of course, yes, he is going to be in the fight, but the problem with TPing is that it's unreliable. TPing takes not only very long to commit to successfully proc, or how do you say it, to channel, I guess, yeah, it takes very long to channel, but also it's a super obvious visual indicator that someone is TPing, right? It's a red, like, Batman dot on the map that you can play around, right? So here, boom, I'm in this fight before the Singed. I play really slow. My goal in this fight is not necessarily to force anything. I'm just here to be playing reactively, right? And if someone's out of position, I can look to go, such as this TF, right? So I'm just playing slow, right? Playing on my own tempo. If the enemies fuck up, I punish it. If not, I'm okay with that too. But my eyes are on the objective, you know. So boom, we clean up, right? And then instead of hitting the Atakan with my team, again, I'm really prioritizing these Mia waves, you know. If I go back 10 seconds, I can help my team get the Atakan, but I can also get the wave first and then help afterwards. That's completely fine to do. And if I don't kill this wave, it's gonna be really awkward to catch it later because I have to walk all the way down, go to my tier 2 tower, and then catch it there. But now I catch it in advance, really important. So here, boom, we base. Again, I ask myself, where is the next objective? Really important that you keep asking yourself this throughout the game and the entire game, basically, right? Okay, so right now I have TP up and the next objective is Drake. So because of that, I'm completely fine going top lane, you know? What do I do here? I push the wave, right? I pushed it past the neutral point and now I'm moving. This is called the push and move. Again, the reason I am on this mid wave is because I pushed up first and then I can be here, right? And now the top wave is really in a good spot. The enemies are it's basically going to be stuck at this spot, and the enemies can never do a cross map play again. It's eventually going to crash into the enemy turret, so they're essentially being put on a timer right now. And even though I have TP up, it's much better to be grouped with your team, especially if the objective is close to spawning. What happens if I'm top right now? The enemies have a 4v5, right? And they can just walk into the Drake. And when they walk into Drake, I could TP, yes, but they're already inside of the Drake pit, or like they already established the control. Why not just group up and then prevent them from establishing any control when it comes to like vision or flank positions in the first place, right? I want to be with my team before the objective spawns, because then the enemies cannot walk in and contest us. It's basically impossible, right? So look how much I'm neglecting these sideways right now. I don't care about sideways at all. Like, the only reason I'm even looking to go back top right now is because I had the feeling that the enemies are just going to give Drake, but they're not giving Drake. So again, I'm just grouped with my team, you know. I literally don't care that the sideways are bad right now. All I care about is being here before the objective spawns, right? And that's what we're doing here, and that's why I can be in this fight before the fight happens. And the reason it goes well is because right now, if I wasn't here, let's say I was top lane, right? Yes, I have a really good TP flank ward, but if I TP right now, the Aphelios and this can follow up on Singed Engage without any problem, right? And it's a much more reliable strategy to just be grouped before objective spawn. It's much better. Okay, now as for late game goes, you kind of just play late game and mid game exactly the same on Jax. There's very, very little variability. You just push and move. You use your TP advantage. You want to join as many fights as you can. Your champion, unless you have a big lead on side lane where you can maybe progress the game by split pushing, which is rarely the case, you can just play fights and try to win the game that way. Alright, what are some common mistakes on Jax? I want you to look at this sequence here, and I'm going to talk you through it a little bit. The number one most common mistakes a lot of Jax players make is the trading pattern that we talked about a lot in this video already. Overcommitting your abilities way too fast, not playing reactively, right? All you want to do is just walk up and use your spells, use your W, and then once he goes in, then you can use your spells, right? So here you can see I'm just spamming W's on his face, and the moment I feel like I can actually start using my E, which is when for example, here he's walking up very disrespectfully, he's autoing me, I'm reacting to his auto attack with my E, right? The second thing is like a lot of players, they don't use their ult early enough. The moment this guy is committed, the moment he uses his E, I'm instantly popping my ult. I get a lot of resistances from it, I get a lot more damage from it. Not only the instant damage that your ult does, but also the DPS it gives you, right? The damage per second. Lastly, the number one mistake a lot of Jax players make is using your Q when you're already in melee range. This is so annoying when I see it. Please just realize that your Q does not deal damage. It's completely irrelevant when it comes to your damage output. What your Q is actually for is as either escaping after a trade, or when they use their last mobility spell, you can follow them with Q, right? That's what your Q is for. Let's go back to the fight. Please. Okay, it's here. So you can see in this play right here that I'm holding my Q until after he uses his flash. Please just walk up, use your E, use your ult, use your W. After the enemy uses their mobility spell, then you can Q after them. But do not open up with your Q in the middle of a fight. Another mistake I see a lot of Jax players make is they just don't group enough. There's this false belief that Jax is like a super split pusher in the game. It's not true at all. Jax can only split push in games where, again, this is the third time I say it, I'll say it again, if your team is super behind and you can progress 1v1 on side. If you cannot progress 1v1 on side, there is no point in split pushing in the first place. You can do cross map plays, which means that, okay, we're behind, so we're giving the Drake and then we're going to take the enemy tier 2 tower, but for that, you need your jungler and support very often as well. Jax is it's almost never a split pusher. Under grouping is the number one mistake in mid game. You have to play with your TPs, push and move, and impact the map, be on objectives before they spawn if possible, play on your item spikes, right? A lot of players also make the mistake of playing way too aggressively in lane and then they have 40 CS at like 8 minutes with 0 kills or maybe 1 kill. Just play for your farm, man. Just like play slow, play for your farm, punish the enemy's mistakes. Every time they walk up for a last hit, you can W them, but don't give up CS just to randomly jump on people's heads. It's not worth it, especially in like tank matchups. Tanks don't give a fuck if they're behind. They care if you're behind and then also they're behind, they win, because a Poppy with 40 CS at 8 minutes will always be able to ult away your backline, but you're gonna be useless if you're not in a good spot inside of the game, right? So that's another mistake a lot of people make. I want to finish off this video by, first of all, thanking you for watching it, and I'm going to post the full commentary game where I played against the Renekton that I used a lot of clips of in this video at the end of this video. So you will be able to watch that and you will be able to hear my thoughts as I'm narrating them as I'm playing. Please let me know if you have any feedback, if you enjoyed it, if it was useful for you, and let me know if you have any ideas of which champion guide you would want to see next. And other than that, thank you all for watching and peace out. Okay, so I got early prio this game, so I kind of want to put a ward down, and my jungler's batting towards top. Okay, well, so we see him there. I'm going to assume he's batting from top to bot then. I think that's fair to assume. It's really fair to assume. Can I get his bone plating here? Could go for a grasp auto attack there, but it's fine. I should get my E back up when the wave is here. He's gonna like auto Q me, but it's fine. I'll take that trade. And now the Q is down, so now I can walk up, pressure this creep here. He wants to last hit it. Make sure I hit his entire wave. There we go. I hit his entire wave there. Trades like that are fine, when I just like trade a grasp for Q auto for him. Need to be careful right now though, because he has his Q and I don't have my E yet. Sucks. I want to do a 2-wave crash to avoid Rengar's level 2 gank timer, which is right now, basically, after Krugs. Which I'm just avoiding by hitting the wave here. Yeah, good. I avoided it. I'm still gonna ward here, just to make sure. Okay, so now like the wave is pushing towards me. Renekton is really OP whenever the wave is pushing away from him because of his fury. So I have to respect that a little bit. He also gets a level 3 before me. I get on the next creep though. And my echo's pathing towards me, so it's fine if I just play a bit slower. Okay, I thought he would do an extended trade with W. He didn't. I want to make sure he doesn't crash the wave right now. Okay, I'm gonna pop my pot here. Right now, if he crashes this wave, he avoids the gank timer, which I really don't want. So that's why I'm like kind of thinning the wave a little bit, playing aggressively a little bit. Gonna ward the bush there to see if Rengar maybe comes or something crazy, or like if he resets the Renekton. I want to hold the wave so that he's gankable. My Echo's clear speed is crazy slow, by the way. Holy moly. I'll pop my cookie here. I need him to come top, bro. Like, please come. I mean, you're so slow. But it's fine, like, we don't have to kill the Renekton. my goal is to like hold the wave. I care a lot more about the wave. Usually when I'm coming, bro, you're so slow. ETPs. So right now, all I need to do is like catch the wave, get my Sheen. I'm gonna mute this guy, by the way. I need to just catch the wave, get my Sheen, base TP. It would be really nice if I can get both Sheen and refillable. It's not always possible though. I need to be careful a little bit though. I have Cookie, but it's still a bit scary. There you go. So now I got Sheen plus Potion. Really nice. Rengar's top camps are respawning. So there's a good chance he'll just gank here. And my ward's down as well. So I have to be a little bit careful, but Rengar players do tend to gank through lane, and my wave's in a good spot right now. Nice, very good, very good. Yeah, he's very low with no. He didn't buy any. This is a problem. He bought longsword over any sustain. He rather goes longsword than sustain. It's really not good for him. We can even dive here if he stays, and if he doesn't stay, he just loses infinite because I have a freeze. He should have bought refillable plus 1 longsword instead of double longsword. It's way better. Oops. So I mean, I still have a freeze, and my ward's coming up. I want to use my ward for the lane, the bushes, because Rengar always ganks through the bushes. Okay. Gonna ward here now. I'm gonna keep my freeze. So the plant's spawning soon, and because of that, I kinda don't want to freeze too long. I also want to play for the plant, because if I get a good trade and get the plant afterwards, it's really nice. We see Rengar. Okay, nice. The more trades I get, the better. Please. Nice. I missed the cannon, but getting that trade makes him diveable now. So the net worth, the net positive is worth it. If I get one more trade, he's definitely in dive range. I'm just gonna do like an auto attack and then... Fuck, he spaced me well. Okay, let's get the plant and come back. Is enemy jungler gonna be here? Maybe. I guess I just play safe. I just play on the freeze, because it will freeze for me. I'm just gonna walk up, W him, walk away. As long as I don't use my E and if I don't use my E and Q, I should be fine. Just use my grasp Ws. That's really good. See, I still have my potion. The wave's freezing low key. This guy's no flash too. I'm in a really good spot. I don't even have to jump on him because I think Rengar's here. Gage ult. Really? I'm fine. You can't kill me, bro. There's no way. Yeah. I didn't think so. So now all I care about is pushing this wave ASAP. If I can get this wave in, it's really nice. Like, I just hope it goes in. I just pray. Oh, it doesn't, but I see Rengar now. Seeing Rengar makes it much easier to push this now. It's awkward though, because I should have slow pushed it in that case. It is what it is. I'll lose like a little bit. I can also just stay, honestly, get a plate. I'm fine with that too. Got a plate. Just gonna have to invest my TP, but honestly not bad. Not bad. Okay. Let's TP back, and like the moment I get my Triforce, I'm going to insta base TP because I don't want to delay my spike for anything, honestly. Also here I want to slow push because that way I get most trading timers and he'll lose the most. So I'm gonna like make sure that when I last hit these creeps, I'm last hitting them on the latest frames possible, and that way the wave is very close to my side. Which makes it much harder for him to trade back on me because I'm close to my turret and he's far from his turret. Small details. Skanking. Thank you for the ward. Really appreciate that. Okay, well, I mean, you're kind of trolling. I can't follow up on that regardless. Has R, my bad, bro. It doesn't matter if he has R or not there. But it's fine. It's just funny. So right now, as I said, I want Triforce ASAP. So I'm gonna slow push into hard push into base. I might even proxy as well. Okay. So yeah, slow push here. Hard push the next wave. Crash them simultaneously. And then probably a proxy, because if I proxy, I don't lose anything. But it depends on whether or not I see the enemy jungler. When I go for the proxy, it really depends on that. Steeping back, it's fine. I think I can play it out with this HP. He has quite good items though. I'll also level up soon. You don't win that, bro. Trust me. Saving my Q there for after he E's or flashes away. Really important. And now I just get tower, like he doesn't have... Rengar's basing. I like about like where Rengar is. He should base the Rengar to defend top. But he's not. So here, like when I recall, it depends on like Renekton. I want to make sure I recall like as he respawns. So like now. And that way I won't be like losing too much. Okay, so as I said, this game... Oh. Get control ward too, because I want to play aggressively. This game, I need 2 items. I need 2 items. When I have 2 items, it's GG. Okay, Galio's open. I think I saw Rengar topside. I'm gonna low-key hold the freeze here. People are very toxic this game, it's a bit annoying. I wanna control ward that bush so that I can see Rengar. Like Rengar still has not collected his stack on me, so I can't let that happen this game. Freezing is not the worst, but I rather slow push into him. Because like freezing just gives him a timer to like go on the map, and slow pushing gives me like dive timers. So yeah, I'm gonna break the freeze just to make sure I can slow push. So I can play on the map a bit more. That's how I wanna trade. I just wanna like, I don't wanna use my E too much in trades. Oh. We can maybe play this. Looks kind of playable, but I need to play slow. Okay. He has phase rush, I think. Do they have R? No. I'm gonna flash out early. Yeah, I need to make sure I don't die to Rengar, so he doesn't get his stacks. I really want to push out the wave. He doesn't have R, the Rengar, and I saw Blitzcrank move to mid. Also Renekton no TP. Should be fine if I go here. Probably too greedy to take tower. To be fair, I think I can, and I just TP out. I will lose this next wave though. I think that's a bit too deep. But yeah, it is too deep. Right, Renekton was there too. But yeah, this is the problem. Now that I don't get the wave, he freezes it. That's a slight issue. But we can play around it. We can just take Herald if he freezes. And he's giving me like a timer, so it's good. Let's just do this. I'm gonna do it, but it's not my responsibility to like damage it too much. I don't want to take too much damage from this thing, because Herald deals a lot of fucking damage these days. So right there, I'm gonna go back top. I'm gonna push 2 waves, and then I'm gonna join the Drake fight. But as I said, I don't want to force anything crazy. Like I'm really strong this game if I get my 2 items. So I don't feel forced to like take bad fights, you know? Like if this fight looks bad, I'm not gonna join it. See, like it doesn't even look that good right now. Okay, he flashed, that's good. So here, like I'm down to just like push mid, take the tower with Herald and go back top. Like they don't have a single Drake, so we can just scale. Oh shit. This is really bad. No. Run. I mean, you're dead as fuck. Oh my god. Now Renekton no TP. And since Renekton TP is down, now I have TP advantage. Now I have TP advantage and I can really do something. I want to get these Krugs here. I can't dive. I think it's too hard to dive right now. Next objective will be Atakan. I mean, it's hard to dive this, honestly. Nice, this is a free kill. I don't wanna like die though. Okay, it's fine. Get out. Rengar's R. They stick together here. Wait, did he just preemptively E me? Wow, that Rengar. He just preemptively E'd me. I think I don't have mana, so I'm gonna die if I don't TP out. Wow, he played that insanely well actually. Well played. That guy is playing well. He E'd me and then he jumped on the Nami and then I was still rooted so he could jump on me almost. I almost died there, dude. Me dying to Rengar is like the win condition is not dying to Rengar. That's basically the win condition. If I die to him, it's fucked. Because he will get like extra his last stack, which he needs. I want to be into Renekton. You should base, brother. Just base. Just basing with top, bro. Why is he like hesitating to base so much? Oh, because he needed IE. Okay, I see. We see Rengar top. I need my team to play around me a little bit here. Also, the Galio is gonna be so annoying for me in fights. Very annoying for me. I can low-key be on this mid wave, but I also don't mind just being bot lane here if my team comes. Oh. Oh man, I could have moved here. Wait, he's Loki dead though. Let's go. Let's go. That's Loki. Like that's GG, I think. That's like a GG angle. I need my team to come kill this guy. I think I can just take the turret in his face as well. Yeah, I can. Nice. And then I take this wave too. And then I get my item in this. This is too much, I think. Let's get my Zonias. I wanna be near the objective because my TP is down. So I'm gonna open up bot mid between the two. How do I play fights? I think the priority target is probably Rengar, right? Can I play front to back though? I don't know, I think it's hard. I mean, I can be on this here. We see Renekton's not here. It's just hard because we don't know where Galio is, you know? I need to go bot. We Jax mid, yeah, next wave. Yeah, we do need me mid, yes, but I'm not gonna... But bro, why'd he die? I can't be on this bot wave. They'll just kill me if I go here. Oh, they're doing Atakan. They're doing it. Here we go on Galio. You got grabbed. Oh no, just push mid. I see everyone except Rengar and Renekton. Pretty sure they can't kill me with it, just the two of them though. The rest are coming too now. I'm gonna play really cocky here. Yes, I know, bro. I know. I know, bro. But no one is helping me walk mid either. No one's escorting me. That's also like fucking annoying. Nobody's escorting me. They're just running it. But just push mid first and then just play it, I think. We need to play this pretty rough though. She got a reset. I'm gonna like threaten the Jinx here. Oh, you misclicked, bro. You misclicked. Yeah, it's hard. This game is hard as fuck, not gonna lie. Echo also wasn't on flank that fight, I'm pretty sure. Let's just keep cool and go bot. We can win. Need one good fight. All we need is one good fight to win this game, honestly. I need one teammate to go bot with me, so that I can actually push out the waves. If no one goes bot with me, it's so hard. Because enemies can just get mid prio, move bot, deny me a move, deny me from moving. How, bro? He's gonna keep getting caught the entire game. I can't follow up on this. We just played slow. Oh. He got scrapped. Need to jump on Jinx, I think. I'm dead as fuck. It's so hard that like enemies are playing well. They're playing as a unit. They're like pushing mid, going to bot. It's so hard to play when enemies are just like actually organized, you know. It's really hard. My name is 010. Holy moly. The problem is Nash is up, so if I show bots, the enemies are just gonna force it, which is hard to contest when they're that strong. If they force us to fight them right now, then yeah. Don't die again. Bro, just use your farsight. Bro, this TF is just getting caught 3/7, bro. I think they're on it now, honestly. I just traded for tier 2 bot. It's not a good trade, but it's the best we can do, I think. It is the best we can do, yeah. And now I think we also just trade this. Oh, Rengar's top. We can just play Drake then, no? We can kill this guy and do Drake after. Wow, I'm getting fucking one-tapped. Let me jump, bro. No, I can't. Maybe I'm out. Oh. Whatever. Oh no, I don't want FF though. It sucks that we got caught so often, honestly. It sucks. Is what it is though.